Welcome, everybody, to the full moon messages from the angels, the energy update. Joining me today is my good friend and colleague, Justin Speller. I'm Devon Duerr, and we have some really important things for you to know about this upcoming full moon in Capricorn. In fact, it's the second Capricorn moon in a row. Now, you don't need to know anything about astrology to interpret these messages for you. I always say a prayer protection that these messages find you when it's in your highest interest. But remember, as Justin and I are talking and offering some guidance through here, if something doesn't resonate, just leave it behind. If something does resonate, I encourage you to write it down so you can come back and reflect on it. But this full moon is apexing here in the US on Sunday, July 21st. But we wanted to get these messages up early so you can come back and watch as many times as you want, ask questions, and take notes. A lot of times, Justin and I find that when we go back and listen to the videos, we hear more guidance than we did at the time we were recording it. Well, hello, Justin. Thank you for being here. And do you find that to be true with hindsight and rewatching?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And I'm happy to be here. And I'm looking forward to shedding some light on, this particular full moon and what it might cause in terms of some of the stuff that we're all going to be going through and what we can do to, mitigate any of the negative impacts, but also enhance the positive ones, right? And really try to harness this beautiful energy, because it is a very beautiful energy that, I feel very blessed that we get to benefit from it every month, and just how to harness that as best we can.
It is. And speaking of energy, though, it's been an intense energy on the news front here in the US. How's that been for you? And what have you been doing to kind of cope with that and move through it without getting too attached to it?
Yes, it has been very intense, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of things that can come up. Obviously, like, we all have our personal stances where we are politically. So obviously it's kind of hit us from that perspective, but I think it also hits us like from the energetic of we're all Americans, right? It hits us in terms of like a country perspective. I know maybe not everyone watching this is, but for those that who are, we're balancing, like, okay, we're getting hit in different ways. And then also, me personally, I really try to focus on how can I see, even in a horrible situation like this, like, there's always some blessing. I
Mm,
always know that if you stand back far enough, you can always see the blessing, so I look for it. I'm not
right.
able to always find it immediately. I'm kind of still looking in terms of this particular situation. I don't feel like I see it very clearly yet, but I know that it's there and I have faith. So it helps me stay positive and optimistic, and able to continue to hold my light, and kind of be who I am without getting too weighed down by it, even though it is obviously a very sad and tragic thing.
Yes, it is. But this is a great point to bring up too, Justin, for us to make sure we really are shielding our energy when we're watching these news headlines, when we're having these conversations, making sure you get plenty of time alone where you can check in with your intuition about things, whether they feel true or not, because you're going to have a lot of people bringing more stuff to the surface with this full moon because a full moon releases things. So we're already going to be feeling this energy right now at the time we're recording this full moon message, even though it's still a few days away. So just start to notice the people around you and make sure you're getting that time alone to ground, right, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like, as you said, grounding is such a good way to hold your own energies, hold your own viewpoint, and just settle into your own perspective. Because
Mm,
again, we're in a very complex energetic matrix, and we're getting hit by tons of different opinions for family, friends, people on the news, but also these collective fields that just like wash through everyone with all different types of things. And it's so helpful if you ground in. If you think about it, it's like a tree is able to resist, you know, the winds and the rain and the storms because it's so deeply rooted. It's
mm-hmm.
very similar. Even though
Very,
you're
very
not a
simple.
tree, you have energetic roots in the same way, and you can strengthen those, and it really helps you just weather like these public opinion storms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really helpful, Justin. And I think you're going to have even more guidance for everybody as we dive into these angel messages that are going to relate to that. So, why don't we get started with the angel messages and what we've been doing the last few videos that we have really enjoyed with you guys? If you've caught our other full moon videos we've done, is I'll share an angel message and then Justin's going to share his intuitive guidance that comes through relating to the message and anything else that comes through. So, why don't we get started, Justin?
Sound good?
All right. So, the first angel message that's important for you to know for this full moon coming up on July 21st is that there are so many things happening at once. You need to really command balance with your material resources, maybe paying off debts, anything that you can do to bring balance into your life because there is so much going on. However, the time you're hearing these messages, the most important thing to do is to choose your battles wisely. So, exactly as we opened up this video talking about some of these big headlines for our country here, we want to make sure that we're not engaging with things that are just going to drain our energy. So, choose your battles wisely and bring balance to your material resources. Justin, what comes through for you when you hear that?
Yeah, what comes through for me is there's an energetic pattern called scrambled, where
Mm,
your energies are just scrambled, not in any particular way. There's just a certain chaotic scrambling that's happening where, there aren't these harmonious levels in the same way where everything is communicating and kind of working together. And when we get hit with a lot of different things, when there's a lot of kind of confusion and overwhelm, we can get pushed into this state of being scrambled. Um, so, there's a really easy fix. It's called the Wayne Cook posture. You
oh,
can look it up. Just type in Wayne Cook, WAYNECOOK
okay.
posture into YouTube or, just Google it and a video will immediately come up like leading you through it. It's pretty quick. It's something that Donna Eden teaches and I
Okay.
learned it. So
And
yeah,
we're back. Hold that thought. We had a quick recording break there, but we're back. Justin, keep going.
sorry about that, folks. So Donna Eden teaches it a lot, and it's quick, it's easy. It's a good thing to do every day, to be honest. But certainly, when you're kind of just feeling out of it, when you're feeling like not as focused as usual, like not on your game, it's something that can happen a lot to kids when they're learning, where like you're learning a lot of information, and all of a sudden it just becomes too much and your energies go into kind of this scrambled mode. If you do energy test or muscle test, the test to see if your energies are scrambled is you read a few sentences and then you test to see if you're still strong. If you are, then you're fine. But if you and then you actually read a few sentences backwards and you want to
Wow.
be weak when that happens, right? So that's a way
Right.
test to see, if you're scrambled or not. Because if you're scrambled, if you read the sentences backwards, you'll test strong, and forwards, you'll test weak.
That is really interesting. Okay, great tip, everybody. Make sure to look that up. And before we get into the next angel message, Justin, I want to know how can people find you? What's new going on with you?
Yeah, so as always, my website, tapintothelight.com. And I'm actually working on an ebook, my first ebook. It's going to be relatively short, like maybe 20 pages or so, and I'm in the process of writing it right now. But I do want to tease that a little bit. The title is How to Navigate Romantic Relationships in Energetic Perspective. So I want to look at
Ooh.
these wonderful relationships from a slightly different perspective than I think most people look at it. And I'll be covering a lot of different topics in there, but I do plan to release it free to my email subscribers.
Ooh,
So if you
nice.
do want to subscribe to my email list, you can do that at my website. After you're on for about 10 seconds, there'll be a pop-up that will give you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so make sure you get on his newsletter so you'll know when that comes out. I'm excited to read that, Justin. That's so needed right now with the current energy we have going on. So, thank you for doing that. I think a lot of people will benefit. I look forward to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, let's dive into the second angel message. The main thing the angels want you, the second thing the angels want you to know about this full moon is that in the near future, you're going to be completing something, either a phase, a project, or an area of study. And your personal power comes from patience and trusting the work you have done will bring you rewards. They want you to picture that tree that Justin was talking about in the beginning, but trust that there's also seeds well planted for more trees to pop up. And it does take time for these things to grow. One of the things that they're actually showing me is like maybe you invested in taking an online class to take your skills to a new level. And now you need to trust that that's going to add to your resume and you're going to start getting new job offers and opportunities. You do have to get out there. You have to put yourself out there and share with the world what it is that you're wanting for those opportunities to come in. But then trust, if you did, apply for those jobs, if you did reach out and offer to collaborate, trust that your seeds are well planted there. So what comes up for you with that, Justin, for that second angel message?
Yeah, what comes up for me is integration.
Mm,
And when I think of integration, they're the seasons energetically, right? The four seasons, and they represent different aspects in different times of the human experience. And fall is the season of integration. It's kind
mhm.
of the season where you're reflecting on what you've learned, what you've done. You're bringing it all together, right? You're bringing these things more deeply into you so they become part of you and they're really embodied. So you're more integrated and you're able to go forward as this new person that you've created through the growth and evolution that you've done. So it really makes me think of integrating, and you can tune into the energy of the seasons anytime, even if it isn't fall. You can intentionally tap into that energy and ask it to assist you with this integrative process. So I would recommend doing that. I think that helps to really bring you even more to completion so you can then move on, to the next whatever wonderful thing it is you're looking to create and do.
I love that suggestion. This is the time of year. My birthday is actually tomorrow after recording this video. So I love summer. It's my favorite time of year. I'm a Cancer sun sign, but it's odd how at this time of year, all of a sudden, I will get excited about the idea of decorating for Christmas. One of my favorite things to do is just fill the
Yeah.
house with Christmas decorations, and I'm like, it's not even close to Christmas time, but it's almost like this full moon here is where the sun's in Cancer and the moon is all the way on the opposite side of Capricorn. So, what I might be picking up on is that energy that the moon is bringing, right? So, it's reminding me of the joy you can have from different seasons. And what is it that I feel in Christmas time? Usually I feel joy. A lot of times I feel like getting cozy with my family by the fireplace, those kinds of things. So I love that idea of taking advantage of the seasons, even when it's not that season, if you know there's something there that could help you with your energy. So the energy of the fall, when you were talking, I was immediately picturing pumpkins and spicy
Yeah,
candles that smell amazing. So thank you. That's a really, really good one. Um,
absolutely.
yeah. And so before we jump on to the next angel message for you, I did also want to invite you to join my newsletter if you haven't already. You can go to devonduerr.com. That's DEVONDUERR.com. Wait for the pop up. And when you sign up, you will get my ebook that I already have available called Is It a Sign? How to Interpret Their Meanings, where I give you 5 questions to ask when you think you've seen a sign. This is one of the most common questions I get from people is, was this a sign, or what did it mean, or was this my passed away grandmother? Those things are interpreted by you and your team. And so I give you this guide, this ebook here to walk it through so you can understand your language with your guide. So I invite you to sign up for that if you haven't already. Plus, that way you can stay up to date. I am going to be opening some one-on-one readings towards the end of the summer, and I'll be letting you know if you're on my newsletter first when those readings are open. All right. Well, thank you for your patience with that little reminder there. And let's go into the third angel message for this full moon. The angels are asking you to keep going towards your important achievements. Maybe you did finish a cycle, you completed a phase, maybe a relationship came to an end. but that's okay because you are being guided by your spiritual team. If you can look for that silver lining. So, what they want you to do is use self discipline to get yourself there. Once you've completed this phase or project, go within, plan a little vacation or extra time. They're saying many of you watching this video right now really need that extra time for your self discovery, for deepening your spiritual teachings. So if you do know you're about to finish a class, or maybe you did just graduate from a class, or you just ended a job or some kind of cycle with somebody, now go ahead and take that time alone. Get away, go do some self discovery, allow yourself to really reflect on how far you've come. What's coming up for you with that, Justin?
Yeah, that was beautiful. I'd really like I'd like to speak to the part about self-discipline as you're
Mm.
nearing the end of something. So, everybody's soul has the ability to sense timelines, to pick up different timelines, to kind of reach into the future and kind of take a little bit of a look at, okay, like how are things possibly going to play out? And when you get closer to finishing your goal, your soul is able to see the finish line, sense it,
Mm.
feel it much more clearly. And there's a certain security that this lends. So what you can do is you can actually ask once your soul gets to that point where it can literally sense and feel the finish line, you can ask your soul to give you more strength, to give you more energy, to give you more resilience, to give you that final push, that wind at your back to kind of get to finally crossing that, and completing your goal. And it's an energy that you can really utilize and take advantage of, and it's super, super helpful and powerful. So I'd like to, recommend that to anyone who's in that particular situation.
That is really powerful, Justin. Thank you. I can definitely see where when you've worked this hard, it's important to remember to check in with your soul's plan, because I think when we get busy or we get stressed or we just feel like, oh, I'm almost there, that's when we tend to not be grounded and forget to ask, like, is this in alignment with my soul plan? So I love that so much. I do have a pocket affirmation for you. I'd invite you to write it in the comments below this video to affirm it so you can come back and listen to it anytime. Excuse me, read it, reread it, and remember it. I call them pocket affirmations because they're short and easy to remember. But this one is designed on the guidance here today. Because the angels said your personal power comes from patience and trusting you have well planted seeds, here's the affirmation for you. Everything always works out for me. If you want to write that in the comments below, I invite you to. Everything always works out for me. And that will help you to really step into that energy of trusting that the angels are with you. Your personal power comes from patience and your seeds are well planted. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels. Bye, Justin.
Until next time.